This is a football field with 11 players on it, 11 offensive players. These black dots each represent a player on offense. You see that there's 5 offensive linemen plus a tight end who is right next to the offensive line. You have 2 eligible receivers lined up to the top of the screen, 1 towards the bottom of the screen, and then behind the offensive line, you have a quarterback and a halfback. 11 guys. These are 11 defensive players. What you notice is that there's 2 players lined up on the wide receivers towards the top of the screen, 1 lined up on the wide receiver towards the bottom of the screen, and you have 7 guys right in front of the offensive line with 1 safety deep. The difference between how many safeties are deep is essentially the strategy of football. It's obviously more complex than what I'm going to make it out to be, but this is really as kind of simplistic as you can make it in a way that I think will help out a lot of, more casual football fans of just understanding that this is actually a key part of the game. Because let's just think about it. If you want to run the football in this situation, what do? Who can you have block who? You could do something like this, where you see that there are, you're blocking sort of to the right a little bit. All of the, guys lined up against the receivers are getting blocked. But you notice that out of those 7 players lined up on the offensive line, the 7 defenders lined up on the offensive line, only 6 are being accounted for. You have that guy who is unblocked, and that guy has a great chance at helping stop the run. So if you do run the football, the quarterback hands it off to the halfback, and now there's a player who can run in and potentially make this tackle, meaning you kind of have to also give away which direction you're running the football into. So this is a good situation to stop the run, but it's obviously a tougher situation to stop the pass, right? These sidelines are open right here. There's only 1 safety who is deep, so if you can get anything going towards the sideline, then you can make a play. One quick side note is this is also why having a quarterback who can run with the football can be so effective. If the halfback was blocking that last guy, then you could see how you could run the ball a lot more effectively in this scenario. But let's say you don't have that option. Let's say Peyton Manning is your quarterback. He's not going to run with the football. What do you do in this situation? Well, you throw the ball, right? That's what you want to do. But what if you're a defense and you don't want Peyton Manning to throw all over you? Well, there's a fix for that as well. You just go like this, play 2 safety deep coverages. And you see, if you want to throw the football, it's going to be a lot more difficult, right? I mean, there's still things you can do, but there's just a lot less space, and you're probably going to have to throw in the double coverage in certain scenarios unless you can get a player to make a really good play. It's going to be a lot more difficult to throw the ball, but you see with the blocking concept, now everyone is accounted for. Everyone is getting blocked, so the closest unblocked players are the 2 safeties who are deep, and you don't have to have your quarterback run with the football. Let's look at some actual film now, talking about something like this. This can be a great way that you as a fan, because I'm assuming if you're watching this, you're more watching this from a fan perspective than from someone who is playing football. So if you're a fan of football, this can be a great tell for you to know what to look for. For example, right here, in Super Bowl 55, you see that Kansas City only has a single safety deep here. So for someone like Tom Brady who notices this stuff, what's he probably going to do? As you see, they're going to run a play action, and this allows now for them to be able to throw the ball easier. He does find Rob Gronkowski towards the sideline for a touchdown. So that's one key way that you can just, as a fan, know what to look for. You see only a single safety deep, there's a good chance that there might be a throw, and there might be a throw towards the sideline. Now, there's also this play, which from a fan's perspective might be a little bit confusing because you're probably looking at this and saying, wait a second, I don't see where the safeties are. How do I know if this is single safety deep or 2 safety deep coverages? I don't know. Well, let's just count the guys. There's 9 guys on the screen, which, if you have time to do that, because again, the camera angle doesn't always cut over there in the perfect time, but sometimes you can just sort of tell. You start to get a sense for it feels like there's, 9 guys or 10 guys on the screen. If there's only 9 guys on the screen, well, then there's 2 players somewhere else, which probably means that there's 2 safeties deep. 10 and 11 are going to be off screen, so now you know that if there's a 2 safety deep coverage, what should you do? You don't have to run the ball, but if you don't, you'll probably try to throw the ball, sort of shallow. Underneath, you're not going to push the ball downfield too much. Tampa Bay is going to run the football here, and they're going to pick up a decent amount of yards. So, it was a quality run. And this can really be where a lot of football comes down to, I think. Now, of course, not every team is going to want to say, hey, Tom Brady, just so you know, we are playing a, two safety deep coverage. So just so you know, that's what we're doing, because then he'll, know, okay, let's go for running play. So sometimes you will see, sort of people fake things, right? You set up as though you have two safeties deep, but then one rushes in right when the ball is snapped. But if you're watching at home, you can also notice that stuff. So that's kind of what makes this fun. This is where a lot of strategy comes in too, I think. Again, I try to not talk down to you guys at all, because I know, a lot of times you guys are smarter than me about this stuff, or at least sometimes you are. So I'm not trying to sit here and say but I think this is something that not everyone knows. So I figured that that's why it could be an interesting video, I think. There's a lot more complex little variations of this stuff. For example, there are different types of cover 2 defenses, or 2 safety deep defenses, because there's cover 2, but there's also quarters. There's also what's cover 6, which is kind of half of one coverage, half of another. That stuff gets a lot more complex, but really it's not as important to know from a fan's perspective. As a fan, all you really have to know is single safety deep or 2 safety deep for sort of the broad strokes idea. This is kind of why I think, in that Super Bowl, that's actually a great example of teams approaching and attacking 2 safety deep coverages in a different way. Both teams started playing a lot of 2 safety deep coverages at the start of that game. Tampa Bay started running the ball a lot more, which then set up sort of the Kansas City Chiefs said, okay, we can't keep playing cover 2. We have to start playing cover 1. And once they did that, that's allowed Tom Brady to really attack the Chiefs defense. Whereas the flip side is that for the Chiefs, they really just tried to keep passing the football, even though it was against cover 2, and it did not work out well at all, and they weren't able to have much success. Again, there's other things at play. Obviously, talent matters a ton here, but really, this is kind of the main thing. This is the rock, paper, scissors situation that you have, kind of, where, you run the ball against cover 2, you have success. You throw the ball against cover 1, you have success. You throw the ball against cover 2, you don't have success, and you run the ball against cover 1, and you don't have success. Also, just in case, anyone's a little bit confused, cover 1 just means how many safeties do you have down the field. Cover 2, you have 2 safeties. That's basically the way to view it. Cover 3, it's actually 1 safety and 2 corners, but 3 players are covering deep down the field. Cover 4, 4 players are covering deep down the field. Cover 6, 3 people are, because that's where things get weird. But 1 through 4, I guess 0 through 4, just stands for how many players are covering deep down the field. So that's another little bonus tidbit there. So I figured this could be just a quick and fun, easy way to sort of, give you guys a little piece of information if you were curious. Maybe if you want to show this to a friend who maybe does not know, this could maybe, I think help people out and just understand a little bit more. Right? That's all, I figured we could do with this video. I don't really consider myself someone who teaches people too often. I view my videos as entertainment, but I figured, hey, let's just try this and see how it goes. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.